Dear friends, hello everyone. With you, I am again, TheDeinekoArtem, and in today's video, we will have an overview of the new Minecraft snapshot. You can also now change the new game rules. For example, turn off the command blocks directly on your server without rebooting it or in a single world. And a lot of interesting things what we will talk about in this video. Therefore, be sure to watch it to the end to know new changes on the Minecraft version. Like, subscribe to the channel and press the bell if you have not done this. Well, we go to our new Minecraft snapshot. 25w35a went. The first change applies to the server list. If we go to the multiplayer tab, click on the button to add a new server, and here in the server field we have now, by default, it is the Minecraft server text that is not displayed. That is, if we are here, this text is not. And we can write some kind of server name ourselves and add an IP server already here. If you want to leave this field empty, then by default you will have the text in the Minecraft server as it was before. But now the text itself is not displayed, and it is not necessary to wash. Further, the changes relate to the developers of different plugins, mods, resource spaces, data packs, and so on. Now the Minecraft server management protocol is controlled through the API and not through RCON as it was before. We have now added by the API itself, which controls the server via just an RPC. That is, in general, this is precisely for such people who develop servers there. Where in general now we have RCON, the old system is replaced by a new API. Well, that is who generally develops different servers there, I think, understands what is about. For ordinary users, this is not very important. It will not affect your game in any way, but what will affect your game? Now we have a cursor in Minecraft. And if we have previously on, throughout the existence of Minecraft, over the course of 12 or 15 years there, the cursor in Minecraft has not changed in any way. Now, it has been changed. For example, if we go to the anvil and lie on the empty field, our cursor is blocked, and this is the following badge. That is, we cannot write anything here because we have no subject. For example, if we are already putting a subject here, for example, a book with a pen, we can now drag our cursor. And in this way, select, for example, replace these here, and now we can calmly change the cursor. That is, to select some text right in Minecraft. It was impossible to do this before. For example, I took the book and the feather, and now I changed it with the help of a cursor. Also, if, for example, we are now creating some kind of team, this is how the link through tell row click event looks like. That is, the text that will contain a link. When entering this text, we will also have a cursor and display exactly. Here is such a finger. When we click here, we understand that this is just a link and not the usual text, and he transfers us to TheDeinekoArtem.net. This also applies to other clickable messages. For example, if in your messages, for example, tell row click event, which allows you to copy the text of the task for Artem TED, for example. We are also leaning here. Just click. That is, we see that our cursor is changing, and we have this team that we can insert here again. If you want to have one cursor in Minecraft as a default, for this you go to the settings, mouse control settings, and here the allow cursor changes. You put on or off. If you put off, then you see a cursor. As there was a regular cursor in Minecraft, it remains. That is, here I, for example, get here. I have an ordinary cursor. I get to the link. I also have an ordinary cursor. Well, that is, now it all changes in mouse settings. And I think this is very cool, because throughout the entire Minecraft, the developers did not add this. Also, we have again changed the charts of copper golems. If before the hitbox was 1.02 or 03, I don't remember in the previous snapshot, you can see at the hint from above. Now the hitbox is 0 as a whole 9800th block, and you have a short distance between the block. Now he can go into one block combo. There will be no problems. To do this, let's click on F3 plus B and see the hitboxes. That is, we have a hitbox of our iron golem, and you see that he will now calmly crawl into one block. That is, let me even show you so clearly. That is, you see a white strip, and she will perfectly crawl into this block. Let me even take a little more snow. I will snow here so that you perfectly notice it. That is, you see, we have a small distance in 0 as many as 200 blocks. And it is clear that now your copper golem can go into one block calmly. Previously, he could not go into one block because the hitbox was a little more than one block. New gamerules are quite interesting changes, because recently I only mentioned the stream that it would be cool if the developers added a gamerule that allows disconnect command blocks in Minecraft in a solitary world, or on the server just one team of gamerule. Have a block team, and before the developers to do it just a week ago, I needed this game, and finally developers to add it. Let's move in order. The first gamerule allows us to turn off the what portal. To do this, we are prescribing the command gamerule allow, entering nether using portal false or true. If you want to turn off the portals, then you are prescribing the false command. And for example, I go to the portal to hell now, and I can't teleport. And on the bridge, I will try to go to the portal now. It is in the portal that I will show that you cannot teleport. Well, that is, he comes in, and he cannot teleport in any way. And as soon as I prescribe the allow entering nether using portal true team, now we can teleport. That is, he immediately teleported. And I also went in and immediately teleported. We can also go back. Quite an interesting gamerule, and now you do not need to go into the server settings or in the settings of the single world, your world, and to change it in the settings. Now, just ordinary gamerule. And without rebooting your Minecraft or server, you can safely turn it off or turn it on. Next is game rule PvP. Interesting game rule. I think you already understand that he is turning off your PvP with other players. For example, game rule PvP false. We are prescribing. And now I can't hit my friend. Here is the bridge, and let's transfer it to the survival mode to put it on your own, so that you do not say that he is in creative. I translated it survival all the same. And we can fight at all, but we can't fight at all, but we can't fight at all. To do this on the server, before you had to create a team where to add players, and then turn off the PvP PIA. And now you can use one gamerule PvP command to turn on or disable it on the server. I think this is also very cool. I try to hit me now. Now I turned on the PvP here gamerule. You see me over the bridge and can calmly hit the cool gamerule spawn monster. This gamerule completely disconnects the convey of monsters, and we can spell them in a creative with the help of eggs. That is, by default, this team simply prohibits the conap of hostile mobs. For example, let's write down the game rule. Spawn monster command. Just turn off spawn monster, that's it. For example, I want to sprinkle the zombies, I can calmly do this, but the spawn itself by default, for example, if we have night, everyone, hostile mobs will not be sleeping. Also, quite interesting gamerule if you just play without mobs, and for example, on some kind of light, normal or complexity, where you won't spawn mobs, and you can put them on your own if you want to do this. Well, command blocks gamerule, which I was very pleased with, because it was still needed for many servers and for many worlds alone. And, for example, here we have a command block. We are prescribing a command of TPZ, and a kind of Artem on some kind of random coordinates, for example, 100 and old. Yes, they set it. And now, if I click on the lever, then I teleport here to these coordinates. Let's teleport to the bridge and vice versa. If I write the command gamerule enable command block false, now I can't teleport because I have disconnected command block. Again, you do not have to climb into the settings of your server and turn off the command blocks. Then restart the server. Everything. Just one team, turned on, turned off, is done as it is convenient for you. Again, shells, yes, this is already the 4th snapshot that is associated with the regiments. Now they are in our hands differently in our hands. That is, if I took the shells in their hands, then they now look at us, well, here from left to right. And so it looks. That is, you now see a screenshot, as it was previously at the previous snapshot. And how it works now. That is, now we just have a regiment from left to right earlier. We had it from right to left. That is, the screenshot on the right. You see how it was before, and how it looks now. I think it is also clear. Now, when we take some resources from the shelf, they are displayed below us. The name of the block itself is displayed calmly below, and we understand what kind of block it is. We did not have this before. That is, there were no subtitles at the bottom when we take objects in the hand. We also now have a betrayal of particles. When we break these shelves, now they have become better quality there. Earlier, there were pixels, now much better. Now we can bring the heads of players into the chat. We can also enter them in titles, subtitles, and so on. Let me show you how it works, but I want to say right away. For example, It does not work with my nickname, and my head is not displayed. I pointed here. 3 developers did not want to indicate the nickname exactly the one whom we want to display the head. But again, for some reason, if I indicate an Artem, my head is not displayed correctly. I tried it even in a single world, although I have a skin. But for some reason, everything is wrong. Equally, my head looks just like that. Let's even show you. I'll leave the server. I'll come to a single world that I already created here. I have a team that, well, the players will display the head of the players right Your away. Nickname, TheDeinekoArtem. Although I have a license, I pay attention. I play alone. And you see, doesn't matter. My skin is not displayed. Although here, my real skin, there you go. Somehow it works strange. But developers will fix it over time. Maybe this is the problem for this with my account. Now you can take the heads of players in the chat like this. Again. And not only in the chat, but to others. There, for example, well, there. At subtitles, you can bring, yes, to subtitles. Well, let's indicate title. And here we will indicate, well, by the way, the action bar. Action bar here in the middle. This head is also displayed below. In general, now we can bring everywhere. Action bar, in chat, in credits, and so on. And it works cool. I will add a new language. These are quite strange changes. I didn't even know what language exists. Gallian language, phrase, we go into the settings of the tongue, and here we have a new Gallian language. Here it is called Galala. Click on the down and see what this language looks like. That is. Here is such a new language. I don't know what kind of language this is who speaks on it. Well, there are people who are still on it. Really write in the comments who knows this language. Well, in short, this is how it all looks. Nothing is clear. The only thing that is clear here is, in short, here, iron chain. In this language means iron chain. An iron chain. Let's go back to our English beautiful language. Where is he with us? English, us. Here. And we return to our Minecraft. Now we are strictly made from iron circuits. That is, we put iron circuits. Here we put these boards and we get suspended signs. And if you use, for example, now copper chain, that is, copper here are these chains, then you will not succeed. And you can't do a sign. A new version of DataPack. This is due to the fact that now these chains are called as iron chains and also copper chains. Previously, these were just ordinary chains, which were called just chain. And now it has been changed for data packs and resource packs. The last one for today is that we can now calmly fly in water, friends. Previously, when we, for example, went into the water, began to fly, here we just started to swim. And now we can calmly enter the water in flight. And look, I don't swim, friends. I'm just flying underwater. And so it works cool. So well, must I try to fly? Will you succeed or not? I think it's cool. It's cool that we are not swimming now. And now we can calmly fly. Previously, this was not there, and this is a rather cool change. Dear friends, here is such an interesting snapshot. It turned out for the developers. Again, it reminds this snapshot attributes us to the new version of Minecraft. You can see all these changes in this version of Minecraft. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell if you have not done this. Well, I was with you, TheDeinekoArtem. Must 8 fans 8 tour. Good luck to everyone for now. They are friends.